So now that we've talked about leadership begins with listening, listening to the people entrusted to your care, and listening for longings and losses, the next question becomes, how do we listen well? We listen well by showing empathy. Empathy is not the same as empathy, or empathy is not the same as sympathy. Empathy is listening with people. Sympathy might be listening to them, but it's not listening with them. When I am feeling empathy, what happens is I actually call up within myself the feeling that I see in the other person. So let's say I'm talking to a 15-year-old girl who has just talked about how her first boyfriend she's ever had has just dumped her. And she is feeling really sad. Now, I've never been a 15-year-old girl. So I never know what it's like. I couldn't know what it's like to be in her shoes, but I can know what it's like to have something that my heart was set on, something that was really important to me, something that focused most of my days of my life, and then to have it pulled away from me. And I can know what it's like to call up the feeling within me and say, I remember what that's like. Not just think about it, but actually take the time for that feeling to well up within me. Because if the other person can see within me that feeling, it creates a connection. Empathy creates connection. Sympathy makes me feel better. I can say, yeah, I get that. Empathy makes the other person feel better because they recognize the feeling. The other thing I have to say about empathy is vulnerable. If I were just showing sympathy, I could keep the other person at arm's length. I could say, I know about that. But if I'm actually feeling what they're feeling, if I'm trying to conjure up within me, I'm trying to remember times when I felt something like that, then I actually have to reveal that there have been times when I felt so sad, when I felt out of control, when I felt deeply distraught. And there's lots of us that just don't want to have to face that. And that's why empathy is hard. Empathy is feeling with people, and empathy is vulnerable. There's one more point I want to make about empathy, but we're going to do it in a second video. So hold on for just a second.